and dirty tutorial on how to do a level sequencer for let's say for these for the doors to start off with. All right. So just as an example, I'm gonna pull off my sequencer and have it down here because I'm a bit more comfortable with it being here. So my sequences for doors are only 15 frames long, so it takes half a second for my doors to open because, as you see in the sequencer, it says 30 frames per second, so that means there's 30 frames in a second. So if it were out here, that would be a 1 second sequence, a 1 second cutscene. Technically, my doors opening and closing are all just cutscenes that are playing and then reversing and yada yada yada. So, how do we do that? So step one, you can go ahead and if you don't already have a door asset made, you can go ahead and go to geometry. For box, make sure you're on additive, and you can drop a box right there. There goes my lighting. That's fine. I already submitted this. And shape it up how you want. Make sure that you've got your texture on it. I'm going to slap the reflective because I like a reflective look to my futuristic doors. Oh, I forgot to. So, if you click on it and press Shift B, you can select all the faces of it, and then you drag and drop, and it'll apply the texture to all the faces because you want to make sure that it's uniform all around. So, there. And now, if you want to animate something with sequencer, it needs to be a static mesh. You can't animate brushes. So you go to geometry. You hit that. Oh wait, no, not that one. Sorry. Brush settings. Go down here. This is a drop down. It'll stay hidden, so you just click that and then create static mesh. You name your static mesh. I'm gonna call this demo door. So we create that static mesh right there, and we want to make sure we find it in our content browser here. Where are you? That's door static mesh. Demo door. There we go. We're going to double click into it because we need to make sure that we go to collision, add box simplified collision. We want to make sure that it, actually is not passable unless unless it opens for them. We'll go ahead and save that. Alright, next step is go to cinematics, go to level sequence. We're going to call this demo underscore door. Let's click no. I need to name it something else because I named that demo door. Demo underscore door underscore sequence. How's that? Yep, there we go. So, now we see the sequencer is here, but it's very, very empty. So we need to make sure that there is an object for it to animate. So we're going to click this door. We're going to click track, and we're going to go track actor to sequencer. Because we have the door selected, if you go above the search bar, it says add demo door. It's a neat little trick there. For my doors, it was 15 seconds to make them open and line up, or 15 frames, so half a second for it to line up with the timing of my door opening sound. So half a second is what I'm setting that to. So using the sequencer, by moving that little red thing, we cut down the overall length of it. So now it's just going to be these 15 frames. We want the 0 position to start exactly where it is, so make sure it's in position. We go ahead and add a keyframe. You see this, it says transform. That right there, add a new key at the current time, which our thing is currently set to 0, so that is its starting position. And then we want to take this and move this to the ending position, and we're going to slide it like that. Let's say that's how much it takes to clear and hide itself in the door, right? we set that keyframe at that position, and we want to make sure that we right click, go to properties, when finished, keep state. So that way it will keep its state and stay open when we do that. And we're doing that for a reason. I know my door's closed afterwards, and that is a very important thing. Now if we drag this along, we can see that as it plays through the sequence, the door opens and closes, right? So that's properly attached. So the next thing we need to do is go into our blueprint, and just like I made an entire section for my doors because it was all the same code repeated over and over and over again. So I made it so they have a trigger. So we're going to go to trigger volume. I'm just going to drop that there in a sec. Yeah. So I want it to open generally like that. Because there would be walls on either side of it, so they'd have to approach it from the front or back. Try and even that out just a little bit. And just so that way I keep it nice and clean in my outliner, I'm going to change the name of this trigger volume to demo trigger, so that way I can get rid of that later. Right, so demo trigger, and we have the door, we have the animation, so we have all the pieces for what we need. So I'm going to, while I have this demo trigger, I'm going to go down, I'm going to right click it, I'm going to go to add event, and I'm going to do on actor begin overlap. I don't know why it spit me out all the way over there. I'm just going to put you right here with my doors. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again for end overlap. It's going to do it again and slap me over here for some reason. So I have my sounds already picked out. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you see how to do the sounds added on there as well. We're going to drag this out. We're going to go play sound 2D, right? You select that, and then you select your sound. I know that mine is door open close. Now this is something that I noticed a lot of people in my class were kind of lacking in some places, is if you drop this down, you can change the tone and pitch of your sound, the start time of it, and that's how I got my sounds to kind of match up the way I did. So I knew that my door open and close sound was overbearingly loud, so I turned it down to 0.3. I'm going to do that again here, so that way it's not crazy loud. Nothing else is really needed. It can stay as a UI sound, honestly, for the basic needs of this, or you can leave it off and try and make it directional. I know how to do that. I can add that later if I wanted to. But we're going to create level sequence player, right? And we're going to select our sequence that we created for this, which was demo door sequence. Now notice it didn't have an icon. That means I didn't save it. So if we go back to the sequencer, we hit save. So demo door sequencer, correct? Yep. And also, now that we've created the sequencer, we want it to play. Now here is the hard part. You're going to need to sift through this list and find the one that is going to let you play at for the sequencer. Sequencer player. Oh, come on. Because when you create a play, if it's not, there we go, sequence player. If you just hit play, it'll start playing, oh wait, target is movie scene sequence player. Yes, that is exactly what we're looking for. Cool. Target, return value, connect that. And that is how you get the door to open. Now you can basically just copy all of that and spit that out. Let me undo that because it was the wrong one I copied. And we want it to do the same thing, except this one is not going to be play. This one is going to be play reverse because of the fact that we are using the we set it to keep state. The door is going to stay open until we leave the trigger, which is what we want because we don't want the door slamming shut on our character, right? And if you want to know how to go ahead and drop a comment like that, so that way you can keep things organized, you just highlight the things that you want in that comment, and then you hit C. And then it'll create this little box for you, and I'm going to put demo door. So that way I know what it is, and I'm going to mark it as yellow, so that way I can find it really easy. I don't have anything else yellow on here, so I can just find it and delete it later. You compile, you save, and now we can play. Okay, so I cut the video to get rid of the cutscenes and stuff from my own stuff that I was working on here. But now we know where the trigger is, so we can see that approaching it from the side doesn't really do anything because we made that really narrow. But if we approach it from the front, it opens with a sound. It's not closing on us, it's keeping its state. Let's leave the trigger, and it closes. And that's how you do sequencer doors. And that's why I have a whole bunch of them, because once you get the hang of it, it can be really quick and easy to animate them that way.